Hello and welcome to News Flash on PTV2, the home of breaking news. We are 27 days away from the August 13th general elections. We are coming to you live on TopStar channel 110, Azam Decoder TV channel 493, and streaming on our Facebook page PTV2 Zambia. Now let's take a look at stories making headlines. The Zambia Police Service has dismissed as false reports circulating on social media claiming that police officers shot and killed several people in Kalingalinga and Mtendere compounds. Former Senior Private Secretary to the late former Vice President, Dr. Guy Scott, Dr. Robert Kamalata, has described him as a man of integrity who stood firmly by his principles. Citizens First CF Central Committee member Morgan Kapoi has described party members who have left to endorse other presidential candidates as political opportunists who are practicing politics of the belly. And with the news in detail, my name is Catherine Bwalia, and my sign language interpreter is Joseph Kutalama. The Zambia Police Service has dismissed as false reports circulating on social media claiming that police officers shot and killed several people in Kalingalinga and Mtendere compound during NRPUP presidential candidate Brian Munduwile's roadshow. Police Public Relations Officer Godfrey Chilabi says the claims do not accurately reflect what transpired, stressing that no lives were lost during the incident. Mr. Chilabi explains that police officers discharged tear smoke canisters as part of a crowd control operation to disperse a gathering. He says during the operation, a pellet from one of the tear smoke canisters accidentally struck a girl in Mutendere compound who was some distance away from the operational area.
During a crowd control and management operation, police officers discharged tear smoke canisters to disperse a crowd. In the process, a pellet from one of the canisters inadvertently struck the leg of a girl from Tendere compound who was at some distance from the operational area. The girl was rushed to Mtendere clinic for treatment and was later discharged after receiving medical attention. Police have since opened investigations into the circumstances surrounding the incident.
Moving on, former Senior Private Secretary to the late former Vice President, Dr. Guy Scott, Dr. Robert Kamalata, has described him as a man of integrity who stood firmly by his principles and always spoke the truth. Speaking on the Sunrise Breakfast show, Dr. Kamalata said Dr. Scott was exceptionally honest and transparent with nothing to hide, particularly in the discharge of his official duties. He notes that Dr. Scott had zero tolerance for the abuse of public resources, saying anyone who attempted to temper the president never benefited personally from public funds, maintaining professionalism, accountability, and honesty throughout his public service. He has since called on Zambians to uphold peace and unity as the nation mourns Dr. Scott, describing those values as central to the late statesman's life and leadership.
And he was a very honest man, such that there was nothing to hide, especially when we were in the office. Whatever came on the table, we could discuss. I'll tell you one funny thing. He experienced, richer, everything more than I do. But you'll be shocked that every time that Dr. Scott went into the office, whatever came on the table, he was always consulting me, despite the fact that he had everything to make a decision for himself. But he was professional such that he would always get in touch with me or get advice from me. That's the kind of man he was.
Okay.
And I'll tell you on integrity, let me just expand on that one. I can tell everyone in their faces that if there was a man that never got even a single way from the government coffers, it is that man. If you wanted to actually differ with Dr. Scott, just do anything funny with public funds, then that was very unacceptable to him. Yes.
Citizens First CF Central Committee member Morgan Kapoi has described party members who have left to endorse other presidential candidates ahead of the August general elections as political opportunists motivated by personal gain. Speaking on the Sunrise Breakfast show, Mr. Kapoi said those who joined Citizens First did so because they believed in the party's vision and the leadership of its president, Harry Kalaba. Mr. Kapoi has, however, claimed that some chose to leave when they realized their personal expectations would not be met. He has urged that those endorsing other presidential candidates are pursuing selfish interests and practicing what he termed politics of the belly, rather than genuinely seeking to serve the Zambian people. Mr. Kapoi further says that individuals committed to public service would have remained loyal to the party even during difficult times. Meanwhile, he has revealed that Mr. Kalaba remains in high spirits and continues to campaign across the country. Mr. Kapoi says the CF leader is expected in Lusaka soon for a series of political activities, which he believes will demonstrate that Citizens First Party remains active and vibrant.
With all these defections that are these endorsements and resignations that we have experienced as a party, it's not the first time, and besides, which party hasn't been left? A lot of people are resigning from the UPND, are resigning from the Socialist Party, are resigning from a lot of these political parties. So this is something that is not new to us, and we expect such kind of developments, and we remain resolved. People have got their different reasons as to why they resign and decide to endorse, but most of them, I'll tell you, that they're just these are people that are just opportunists. They're just looking for where they can eat from. So probably they looked at Citizens First as a party that they feel was going to, they saw potential in the party, of course. They saw credibility in the leadership of President Harry Kalaba. So they felt maybe if they came to Citizens First, they'll have that opportunity. And when they saw that maybe things are not going as though they thought they would, they decided to jump out. And trust me,
conducted by the United Nations Population Fund and UNFPA, the Zambia Statistics Agency, ZamStats, and the Network on Ending Child Marriage in Zambia has revealed that child marriage, adolescent pregnancy, and HIV continue to pose significant challenges among adolescent girls with wide disparities across districts requiring targeted interventions. The adolescents aged 15 to 19, while 23.9% of young women are married before the age of 18. Adolescent pregnancy stands at 28%, gender-based violence among adolescent girls at 18.3%, and HIV prevalence among girls aged 15 to 19 at 1.9%. The report further indicates that different essential. Details in the following report.
National Planning Permanency through days, the data will support government efforts to address gaps in education, health services, and other essential areas.
It is really important to note that prevalence of certain phenomena such as early marriages, child sexual violence, or STI prevalence be understood from a localized perspective. So the deep dive into the triangle of harm, mapping the national realities of child marriage, adolescent pregnancy, and HIV/AIDS is exactly the type of demographic intelligence required to resolve this planning gap. Distinguished guests, government appreciates the continued partnership with UNFPA in strengthening Zambia's population and statistical systems. Through collaboration with the Zambia Statistics Agency and other institutions, we continue to improve the generation, analysis, and utilization of data.
UNFPA country representative Seth Brockman says the analysis has identified 16 warning districts where multiple vulnerabilities are higher than the national average, calling for targeted interventions.
So this breakfast dissemination brings our institutions together around three core objectives to translate this data into action. First, we must shift from isolated, fragmented interventions towards a synchronized, multi-sectoral strategy that links healthcare delivery, education retention, and customary accountability. Second, we must measure and address the specific ways the Triangle of Harm's intersecting crises undermine human capital development and national economic growth.
And Network on Ending Child Marriage in Zambia chairperson Womba Wanki says integrated evidence is critical in understanding how child marriage, adolescent pregnancy, and HIV intersect throughout a girl's life.
In this context, interventions focused solely on awareness raising are unlikely to succeed unless they are accompanied by climate resilience, livelihood support, and social protection, for example. If you have to make a comparison, in Lusaka's informal settlements, the drivers can look very different. Here, adolescent pregnancy, school dropout, limited access to comprehensive sexuality education, unemployment, substance abuse, overcrowding, and exposure to gender-based violence often intersect to increase girls' vulnerability.
Favorite GC Prime TV News, Lusaka.
Ministry of Information and Media Permanent Secretary Tabo Kawana has called on the media to uphold professionalism by reporting accurately and providing credible information ahead of the 13th August general elections. Mr. Kawana says the media plays a vital role in the electoral process by informing citizens, promoting public debate, holding leaders accountable, and enabling voters to make informed decisions. He was speaking while officiating at the launch of the second Election Media Monitoring Report, an initiative aimed at strengthening responsible journalism and supporting Zambia's democratic process. The program was organized by the Media Institute of Southern Africa, MISA Zambia, with support from BBC Media Action.
Regulators and civil society develop solutions to promote credible journalism and informed public discourse. As we approach the elections, I encourage all media organizations to provide balanced, issue-based, and inclusive coverage that reflects the diversity of our nation. Let us ensure that women, young people, persons with disabilities, and other underrepresented groups receive fair representation in election reporting. Equally, let us reject violence in all its forms. Elections should be contests of ideas, policies, and leadership, not conflict. We must all continue promoting peace, tolerance, dialogue, and respect for differing political views. The Ministry of Information and Media remains committed to working with media institutions, regulators, civil society, and corporate partners to promote media professionalism, safeguard media freedom accompanied by responsibility, and strengthening information integrity.
And that item ends the news flash on PTV2. Let's take a look at the stories that made headlines. The Zambia Police Service has dismissed as false reports circulating on social media claiming that police officers shot and killed several people in Kalingalinga and Mtendere compounds. Former senior private secretary to the late former Vice President, Dr. Guy Scott, Dr. Robert Kamalata has described him as a man of integrity who stood firmly by his principles. And Citizens First CF Central Committee member Morgan Kapau has described party members who have left to endorse other presidential candidates as political opportunists who are practicing politics of the belly. Thank you so much for staying with us. But for these and other stories, like our Facebook page, that is PTV2 Zambia. On behalf of the entire news and production crew and my sign language interpreter, Joseph Kutelema, this has been Catherine Warrior. Stay tuned.
The following is a political advert and does not reflect the views of Prime Television, but those of the content provider.
We will not rest until every Zambian family feels the benefit of this generational change.
Niwake mupando mulekeni, asibanchito hakainde. Niwake mupando mulekeni, asibanchito hakainde. Niwake mupando mulekeni, asibanchito hakainde. Together, tweneleja bambo. Pikatane, yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, I need together, toneleja pambo. Iseni pikatane, yeah, yeah, yeah. Niwake mupando mulekelendi, asibanchito hakainde. Asibanchito hakainde. Niwake mupando mulekeni, asibanchito hakainde. Niwake mupando mulekeni, asibanchito hakainde. Niwake mupando mulekeni, asibanchito hakainde.
Can we do more? Yes, we can do more. The work continues. We want to rest even more.
Niwake mupando mulekeleni, asibanchito hakainde.
The preceding content is a political advert and does not reflect the views of Prime Television, but those of the content providers.